Yo, what is up, guys? We are back. More Dokkan content coming at you. And today, I'm doing something a little special. So, JP's coming up on their 9th anniversary. So, I'm thinking, maybe I should do a little bit more anniversary themed content. And so, what I will be doing is I will be ranking every Dokkan Battle anniversary on a tier from S to D. S being the best, D being not too great. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think there was any anniversary that was like D level. To be honest, um, yeah. I Most of the anniversaries I really think are like at least C and above. I'm going to add one row below, and I'm going to name it Didn't Play because that is going to be our first one. Unfortunately, I am not a day oneer. I am so sorry. Please don't unsubscribe. Please don't crucify me. I wasn't here day one. So it's like I didn't play this. I mean, we looked through this. It looks good. This was Gogeta and what's his face? Janemba. Yes, Gogeta and Janemba. We could look at their Dokkan Fest. Like, bro, look how old this is. Like, look at these units. I'm sure, like, back in the day, this banner looked insane. I'm sure it did. I'm sure it did. Gogeta, I mean, we all know Gogeta was like, I'm pretty sure I did a release rewind video on him. Gogeta was the strongest character on release ever. From what I heard, it was so bad that you either had Gogeta or you weren't playing Dokkan. Like, people were re-rolling to get Gogeta. He was that crazy on release. And it's like, you look at this guy's kit, because his awakening didn't come till later, didn't it? No, his awakening was right there. Okay, never mind. Yeah, like, you go to his kit and it, remember, this is 2016, so defense wasn't even really a thing. It was just kill the enemy before they killed you, right? And then super effective against all types. Like, bruh, he was a monster. He was a monster. So yeah, I'm sure this was crazy. Obviously, looking back now, this is it kind of sucks, but we gotta take everything into what we really have to take into account is the time period, each time period for each anniversary. But unfortunately, like I said, I didn't play the first year anniversary, so I cannot properly rate the first year anniversary. Now, I did play the second year anniversary, and I remember the second year anniversary being pretty good. I remember it being pretty good. Where was anniversary? There you go. I mean, Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, just incredible units. Incredible. The Goku was incredible. Goku Black was better on Global than he was JP, so that was a W for us. Gogeta was still, like, really good. Well, was he? No, he was still okay. He was still okay-ish. It's 2017. This was still this was still pre-defense and all of that. And the fact that Goku had the Super Saiyan 4s had the counters, it was ridiculous. They were, like, as you can see, like, they're just doing tons and tons and tons of damage. Tons of damage. And then you go to Vegeta's, like, Vegeta had a little bit more defense, if I'm not mistaken. Like, Vegeta definitely had a little bit more defense. Yeah, he actually got defense on his, in his passive. So Vegeta was the better, like, well-rounded unit, but something about Goku, man. Something about Goku. I'm not gonna lie to you. But, like, these banners are fire. Look, the Blue Vegito and Rose on Vegeta's banner. And then for Goku's, you had the Goku Black and you had the Super Vegito. Now, Super Vegito, if I'm not mistaken, was like the best unit at the time, right? Like, he was like still the best unit in the game, was he not? Until they came out. If I'm not mistaken. Memory is hazy. I started playing Dokkan again when I was on a trip, so it's like I wasn't even playing it all that much. But yeah, like, This was definitely a fun time. I remember it being a fun time. And then the legendary summon banner was Gohan, right? Yeah, you get these two. Yeah, man. Like that needs to be. Gohan was a killer. Gohan was the best unit in the game when he dropped, was he not? Like LR Gohan was the best unit in the game. He was crazy, crazy unit. Whole bunch of story events. Broly dropped as well. That's actually crazy. Broly dropped as well. Wow. That's insane. Broly was there too? My God. It was crazy. Oh, wow. Second year was wild. You got World Tournament wasn't annoying the people yet. You had Pan's thing. The rank EXP was doubled. And if I'm not mistaken, okay, yeah, so that was just that was the whole thing. And then for Global got 370 stones overall. I mean, like, for that time period, that was amazing, right? For that time period, that was amazing. And you could get Broly, and you could get the new Gohan. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, bro. Like, the Godstone came. You had the daily summons here. They dropped many awakenings for many characters. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm gonna give the second Annie a S tier. Like, it was really good. To think the jump from the first year to the second year anniversary is crazy. Like, yeah, no Super Battle Road and stuff, but like, you can't tell me like there was nothing to do in the second year anniversary. Like, there was stuff to do, right? Stuff to do. The units were amazing. Like, all of them were amazing. Like, there was definitely stuff to do. All right, third year anniversary. Woo! Third year anniversary. Oh boy. This is probably like my second favorite celebration of all time. It might be. Vegito and Gogeta. Like, Vegito and Gogeta was hype enough for me to put them at least A tier. But then you had the Godstone. You had the Premium Stones with units that were still good. You had Purunga Dragon Balls now. You had Friend Summons, where you could get the 17 and 18 LR and the Hercule LR. You had special events. You had story events. The Duo Dokkan Fest. They were amazing. You had discounts. This is the first time discounts came into a anniversary, if I'm not mistaken. This banner was fire. He was good. He was good. He was good. He was still solid. He was still solid. He was still good. He was still good. I wasn't a fan of this guy. And then he was probably like the best unit in the game. And then this Gogeta was the second best unit in the game. You were good. You were good. You were good. You were good. You were still amazing. You were still very good. You aged by then. You were okay. You were incredible. Like, the banners were fire. They had discounts. The main units were amazing, right? And then you had all these type summons. The stamina time, like, and this was just part 1. You go to part 2. Now you got the Goku Black. You got Trunks. You got the Gohan. They dropped like all of these in one celebration, bro. It was crazy. Now the Goku Black was new. The Goku Black was new. Yeah, like, this Goku Black was fire. Goku Black was fire. Because he awakened into Tech LR, Goku Black, and Zamasu. Fire. Like, all of these guys were great. All of these guys were good, man. Then you had the Easy A. You had Super Battle Road available daily. And then you had a new special event coming. Like, it was definitely good. Like, I know we look at it now, and it doesn't look super crazy, but trust me, for the time, the 3rd year anniversary was wild. Wild. Now, I will say, the stone count definitely a hit. Definitely took a hit. Now, do I rate this S tier along with 2nd anniversary? 2nd anniversary gave us like 100 more Dragon Stones. That's the thing. That's 2 more multis. But I think I am gonna rank it S tier as well. Um, huh. Yeah, I think I'm cool with that. So first year didn't play, second and third year S tier. All right, Dokkan's on a roll, and then we get to the 4th year anniversary. I'm not wasting time with this. S, like I don't care. It's S tier. I'm not gonna like order it in the tiers themselves, but like 4th Annie is my favorite. Like 4th Annie was crazy. Like I'm sorry. The 4th year anniversary, wild. The 4th year anniversary was wild. Oh my god. It was like the greatest thing ever. To me, this is like still the greatest celebration of all time. To me. Like everything just worked. First of all, let's look at how much Dragon Stones we got. We got 936 Dragon Stones as opposed to 235 from last year. Already amazing, right? You had the ticket summons. They had LRs here. You had the Grand Tour here. You had a whole bunch of missions. You had the Godstone. You had the Purple Stones. You had the coins, the 4th anniversary coins, which came. You had all these events. This is where B-Pam could become an LR. You had the Easy A for this Goku, who was solid. You got Boss Rush stage. You got packs. And then you get to the main units. I mean, the main LRs were incredible. They were incredible. This Goku was the best unit in the game, bruh. Vegeta, I think, was right behind him. Look at the banners. You were still good. You were good. You were good. You were good. You were solid. You fell off by that point. You were still good. You were still good. So, like, 2 mess, and the rest were good. Right? And then, same thing with Vegeta. Amazing. Good. You're meh. You were good. You were good. So Vegeta's banner was actually a little bit better, right? And then if I'm not mistaken, they had you could use tickets, and it had discounts. This is where they brought the ticket summons in, right? Whole bunch of story events. You had Super Battle Road available every day. Mind you, this is just part 1. Let's get to part 2 now. You had the Shenron Daily bonus. More missions. You had this campaign which gave you stones and a whole bunch of stuff. You had a special event. You had the Defeat Shenron Facebook event. You had another Easy A. You had more story events, more challenge events. A Dokkan Battlefield. This was one of the first ones. This was the 10th one. Then you had the Legendary Summon banner with 2 amazing LRs. They were good, and he was also very good. They were actually crazy. He was just like pretty good, but like they were crazy. Then you had Golden Week missions, right? But then you had the Dragon Balls, if I'm not... Were the Dragon Balls a part of this? Okay, the Dragon Balls may not have been a part of this one. Dragon Balls may not have been a part of this one. Were they? I don't remember if they were a part of this one, actually. Oh, but then you had kind of like the EX part, right? You had the, what you call it? The raid event with this guy. To Easy A this Spirit Bomb Goku. This free-to-play Spirit Bomb Goku. You had a bunch of missions, right? Like, and then you had this special event. Bro. No, okay, no, so the Dragon Balls, like, were a thing in this celebration. Like, everything was crazy. It was crazy. Everything was perfect. Everything was perfect. No rating other than an S rank would do for this anniversary. I still think this is the best event in Dokkan history. Like, honestly, everything just worked. Everything just worked. And then we get to the 5th year anniversary. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. This may be a hot take. The 5th year anniversary is carried by a lot of hype. A lot of hype. In hindsight, you look through the content and it's not that good, right? Like you got this, you got the Purple Stone, cool. You got 10 Dragon Stones, cool. You got the login bonuses, special missions, all that stuff. Like, all the normal stuff. I mean, these units were incredible. It may be a hot take, but I didn't think they were better than Kale and Caulifla, but they were incredible nonetheless. And the banners were insane. The banners were crazy, right? Like 3 featured LRs, like that's insane, bro. But like you look through part 1 and it's just like there's nothing here. You had the Dokkan Battlefield in part 1. You had the story events, you had the special event, you had Dragon Ball History. You had this, which was really good. You had Boss Rush. I mean, but this was all stuff you could do like really fast. Compared to the 4th year anniversary, I feel like the 4th year anniversary had a better part 1. Part 2 is definitely better. I don't think, well, no. Both the units were great. Both the units were very good, in my opinion. Okay, no, so I'm sorry. Part 1 wasn't it. Part 2 is where 4th Annie killed them. Like, look at, like, there's nothing here. There's nothing here. Look at this. It was literally just the Easy A area, which people already weren't a fan of, right? And then the top legendary summon, and that was it. So that was not good. Part 2 was really not good. And then part 3 came. You got the LR EZA for this guy. And then a new Dragon Ball History stage. And then that was it. So, like, outside of part 1... So, if you pull everything together, in 3 parts, they have just about as much content as the 4th anniversary does. I mean, not really. 4th year seemed better. Seemed to have more. And then we look at the Dragon Stones. I mean, we got less Dragon Stones, too. I'm gonna be honest with you, and this may catch a lot of people off guard. Listen, you are free to voice your opinions 100%. I will always listen to anybody's opinion. I'm gonna say, riding off the heels of the 4th year anniversary, 5th Annie was a B to me. I think it's very much, we have like rose tinted glasses because Vegito and Gogeta were like the greatest release ever in history. I will not debate that. Like, they are the greatest release ever. But if you actually look at the content for the anniversary, right? You look at the content that makes up anniversary, it really wasn't that crazy. But I'm going to give it a B because the main units were good. It'd be different if the units sucked, right? It'd be different. All right, next, the 6th anniversary. People didn't really care for this one. I don't know why. I remember 6th Annie being good, right? Maybe I'm crazy, but I just remember 6th Annie being pretty good. A lot of people were not a fan of Vegeta's design, which I agree. He was definitely designed odd. This is the first time rainbow tickets were here. That was fire. I definitely pulled fire off the rainbow tickets. Whole bunch of special missions and login bonuses. Okay, so the main units. UI Goku was the best unit in the game. I will hear nothing about this. Very good banner. Vegeta. I mean, Vegeta was top 5. He just wasn't 2 like he should have been. The banner units, I was not a fan of. The banner units were not that good. The banners were... I mean, Hit sucked. Kefla wasn't super crazy. I've never been a fan of that Majin Vegeta like that. So, I mean, you got 1, 2, 3. They were still okay. So, 4, 5, 6. I mean, 6 out of 9 isn't bad, I guess. 6 out of 9 isn't bad. And then for Goku, 1, 2, 3, 4. He wasn't good at that time. You were... Nah, you kind of aged by that point. I mean, you weren't bad. But yeah. I mean, the banners were okay. The banners are alright. Not the greatest banners ever, but, you know, they were alright. And the units themselves were very good. You had the 66 special ticket summon and the Dragonstone summon. At the time, this was incredible. And I think we've already surpassed the 5th year anniversary. You had the limited attempts missions. You had the story events. You had the God event, which came part 1. And then they added stages overall. Extreme Super Battle Road. You had Boss Rush. You had Super Battle Road regular. You had Dokkan Battlefield. You had the legendary campaign. So yeah, part 1, I think it craps all over the 5th year anniversary. Part 2, here's where we run into some bumps. The part 2 units straight up were not good enough. I think they didn't age well at all. This guy, the Team Universe 7, he was definitely good. He was just relegated to one team. Frieza and 17 weren't good. They weren't that good, to be honest. They really weren't. But I mean, on release, I guess the Team Universe 7 was good. It's just they were built for just one team and one team only, and that was it. So that kind of sucked. So I wasn't a fan of the part 2 units at all. You had the story event. You had the EZA for Int UI Goku. That's pretty good. You had more events for the God event. You more stages. You had the Dragon Ball History stage. You had the co-op campaign. Those are fun. So I'm like, it's okay. You got what you call it? A new stage, right? And then you got a oh my god, my freaking mouse died. Hold on 1 second. Okay, I am back. Sorry, my mouse died. My mouse just loves dying on videos. I don't know why. I don't die no other time. But yeah. So 6th Annie Part 2, not the craziest, but I mean it's 100 times better than the 5th years. Like 5th years, honestly, like Part 2 sucked. Part 2 was not good. And then we get Part 3. We had the movie, special missions. I mean, them announcing the LR EZA of Goku and Frieza was like the craziest thing ever. Like that was insane, bruh. And then like these, let's not even forget to mention like the free-to-play units were like really, really good. They were really good that year too. The last stages of the God event and then the chain battle, which nobody cares about. But I mean, for that alone, I'm not gonna say it's on the level of 2, 3, and 4. But I will say 6th anniversary is a strong A. You can talk me into an S. You can. Just for that final EZA, like you can talk me into an S. That EZA was crazy. Whew, crazy. Alright, last 2. Next 7th year anniversary. I think this might be the most controversial anniversary like ever. 7th Annie. So, 7th anniversary, it was basically the year where everything changed. 7th anniversary was the year where everything changed, right? First of all, let's look at the Dragon Stones. We got 1,400 Dragon Stones. That's fire. That's amazing. Let's roll through part 1, right? So, you know, login bonus, celebration missions. These guys were like clearly, I wouldn't even say number 1 and 2. It was like 1A. And then like 1B or 1A and then God or 1B. Like they were incredible, right? Amazing. Super crazy. Here's the problem with this banner though, right? So Red Zone by the end of this celebration would have been completed. The GT and the movie Red Zone. It would have trivialized 95% of the game. All right, maybe that's a little much, but like 85% of the game would have been trivialized. I mean, Broly sucked, right? He was like the best unit by far, along with the Super Saiyan 4s. Like it was them two, and then like gaps, and then it was the next person. I mean, Frieza sucked, and he was only out for like 3 months. UI Goku still had use. He still had use, except Broly. Broly he sucked, but every other place like he had use. Bootanks was done. These guys were done. Y'all sucked. In hindsight, at the time, we're thinking, oh, this is a crazy behind banner. When it's all said and done, after the 7th Annie was through, I'm like, these banners actually kind of sucked, bro. Sin was actually okay. This banner unit, Sin was okay. But it's like, you aged super quickly. You sucked. You took way too much damage. You would later get your EZA in the celebration, but we didn't know that. So at that time, you weren't good. And y'all were okay-ish, kind of, maybe? Yeah, so the banners left a lot to be desired. You had the ticket multis, which are still crazy, right? They were still amazing. I mean, well, okay, you could say they were amazing, but again, Red Zone would have aged. It aged all these units, bro. All these units aged. They aged horribly. Hit and God Goku were like actually top 5 on release, but then Red Zone hit and completely washed them. Completely washed them. It was Janemba. You could get some use out of UI Goku. You had Broly. You had to like really get lucky. But like a lot of these guys sucked, bro. You had just gotten your EZA, so you weren't the worst, but you still weren't super crazy anymore. Like Red Zone aged out everybody. That's why, like, you ask one person, they'll say this is a S tier celebration. You ask another person, they'll say it's C tier, right? They had the ores, which turned into stones, which was cool. They had the ticket summons, the Godstone, but it's like the Godstone sucked at this point. They had the Purple Stone. The Purple Stone sucked at this point. Yeah, Lord. They had the social media campaign. This is where Red Zone started, and they had Boss Rush, and they had missions for a GT Goku event and Vegeta event. So like part 1, and they had Dokkan Battlefield. So like part 1 was stacked. It's just you look back at the banners and you look back at all the summons you could do, like the special summons, the ticket summons. It's like, how much did it really matter at the end of the day? That's kind of the thing. And then we get the part 2. This is where, and I'm going to be honest, this is where I won't give this celebration S tier. No, I can't do it. This, I know we talk about Beast Go On a lot. I know we talk about Raditz a lot. I know. I get it. These two being yellow coin, top legendary summon, banner LRs was actually the stupidest, the dumbest, most asinine decision I think they have ever made. And it makes it worse because they used everything for these guys. Anything they do with these guys now would just strictly be them reusing stuff. They used everything. These guys could be anniversary. They could be anniversary. They could have been worldwide. But no. Part 2 yellow coin LR. That's why it's like Carnival banners. It's like I can't hate on Carnival when it's like we were dealing with this BS. Like I can't hate. This was so bad, bro. And it sucks because they were so good. Well, Vegeta was okay, but Kaioken Goku was doing like, this is how you know like power creep hit like a brick. Kaioken Goku was doing like 15 million attack stats. I'm like, wait, what? Like he was bugging 15 million attack stat crits. Like just popping them out. It was crazy, but this, I'm sorry, I might put this over Beast Go On. This is just the stupidest decision they've ever made, ever. Like this was horrible. This is bad. It was just bad. And that honestly like ruined part 2 for me. For me personally, that ruined part 2. I mean, we could look through part 2. You know, you had the Easy A's. I mean, they were okay, right? They were alright for a while. God Vegeta sucked, but God Goku is still relevant to this day, so like that does mean something. You had story events, you had more Red Zone stages, more missions added. So like part 2 had stuff, but this was just the most stupid decision they could have ever made, bruh. And then part 3 is where everybody lost their mind. Well, first of all, we got these Easy A's, which was incredible. Incredible, right? My God. These guys were literally like top 10 in the game because no one else was that good. And then we got the last stages for these events. We got a chain battle. We got the banners for here, but I mean all the units sucked. We had Dragon Ball story. We had more missions. So like part 3 ended good, but then this is where it really picked it up. And you know what? I forgot about this. I could still probably give it an S tier. This EX part, bro, when they dropped this and they said freaking the Super Saiyan 4s and full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku were getting their Easy A's, and all these guys were getting their Easy A's, I was like, wait, huh? What? Oh, nah, there's no way. There's no way. Yeah, this is the Dokkan All-Stars. I still haven't completed this. Where you go through, like, basically Dragon Ball Saga all the way up to the end of Super. Like, insane, bro. Insane. The EX part was incredible. And because of the EX part, even though the top legendary summon nonsense was the stupidest thing Dokkan ever did, I'm still going to give the 7th Annie an S tier. It had its downs. I think Red Zone was made a little too strong, seeing as though it trivialized 85% of the game. I think it was made a little too strong. And the Kaioken Goku and Grade 8 Vegeta, like, this, the stupidest decision they've ever made. But I can't deny the 3-year Annie LRs, easy A's. The 4-year anniversary LRs, easy A's. Incredible, bro. Incredible. It was hype. It was just hype, bro. And then we get to the final one, the 8th anniversary. Again, controversial, but I think it's just because I think people just like complaining. I'm not gonna lie. 8th Annie was pretty good to me. 8th Annie was like very good to me, actually. So part 1, you had the campaigns. All right, so you had these 2 units. Okay. They were the best unit on. They were the best unit, right? They were the best unit in the game at the time. These guys definitely didn't age super well. Like, they're still usable. I would still say they're probably top 10 LR, but they're like number 10 or 9. But they were fun, but they weren't like them. And then the banners are crazy. Gamma 2 was still solid. You guys suck, but at that point, you weren't terrible. You sucked. What? You were last year. You were still good. You still had some use. You were going to easy A this celebration, so that would be fire. And then the rest of y'all sucked. And then kind of the same thing with this. So I think the characters, although the Z duo wasn't as good, I still think they were good enough. I still do think they were made good enough. You had packs. You had the events. You had but see, the special summons, they were trash. That's the thing. All the units here were pretty much like not good. They were not good at all. The ticket summons and all that. So I don't know. Okay, you had the 8th Annie event. You had the start of that. Then you had the. Now I didn't care for this event. This event wasn't that good to me. I think Boo wasn't the worst, but Omega was so annoying. So I wasn't a fan of this event. Like, yes, it was something to do, but I wasn't a fan of it. And then you have Part 1 Easy Ace. Now, Super Boo, I think, was incredible. Vegito wasn't too great. So that kind of soured people's, expectations a little bit. And then you had Dokkan Battlefield. So, I mean, Part 1 had content, but not all of it was great. Some of it was meh. 8th Annie, then you had the double. Now, I will say this. In hindsight, people were way too harsh. I think people got really caught up on, it's going to be Omega and Kid Buu. Now, should it have been Omega and Kid Buu? Probably. We needed villains. I don't hate these characters. I just think they could have been released at a different time. They were great characters. Don't get me wrong. They were amazing. But, was this the right time to release them? I'm not so sure. Special missions, blah, 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 blah. You had the rainbow tickets, more stages for the 8th Annie event. I mean, this event wasn't hard, though, until you got to Sin. Infinite Dragon Ball History. And then you had the easy A's for these two. Spirit Bomb Goku, he wasn't the greatest. This guy was king for a long time, so it's kind of the same thing as Part 1. Like, one was drop dead amazing, and the other one was meh. So, yeah. Part 2 wasn't that crazy. And then you had the burst mode. Burst mode was cool. But yeah, like Part 2 was okay. You had Dragon Ball History, you had the 8th Annie event, you had the banner, and then you had DBZ. So like it was okay. Part 3, you had them. Now, the free-to-play units, every single one of them sucked. Oh, I should also mention the banner units. Every single one of the banner units sucked. Yeah. You had more missions for this event, but again, wasn't the best. You got Sin. Sin was like the best fight at the time. And then you had the Easy A's for these two. Thankfully, they got both of these A's completely correct. They were both amazing. Knocked that out of the park. Wonderful. And then you got the 8th anniversary event here. So I mean, kind of the same thing with the 7th Annie. Had some ups, had some downs, but I think the ups heavily outweigh the down. Actually, I think 7th Annie had more downs than the 8th did. So I think 8th is S tier as well. So this is my tier list. So first Annie I didn't play. The 5th anniversary I have as actually like the worst one. The worst one probably is the first one, but I didn't play it. So I can't say. 5th Annie I have as the worst one. Best one to me is 4th, still to this day. But yeah, Dokkan usually like delivers for anniversary. They usually do. But let me know down in the comment section below what your guys' favorite anniversary was. I'm probably gonna do this for worldwide too. But yeah, this is a very fun video to make. Like and subscribe for more Dokkan Battle content such as this. 2024, baby, we on the grind. I'm gonna catch you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.